Yo, 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 everyone. We're back. It's BSF season time, and there were quite a lot over the weekend. There was basically three, right? Three. We had the one in Hungary, the one in Newark, and the one in Puerto Rico as well. So quite interesting. So we've got some results already. Some of the Puerto Rico ones we're still waiting on, and some I think we're still waiting on some of the V-Prems for Newark, but it's mostly there. It's mostly there, so we can start looking through them, and by like Thursday when we do top decks, we'll probably see more lists as well. So we'll kind of just update you there like later on, and that'll be that, right? So next thing is, gotta thank Fuzzy Paradox again, right? Fuzzy done some crazy work with the graphics. So look at this. We have the nice little pie charts that look great, right? They show off the distribution. Then we got a nice little kind of the topping stuff with like just the little panels and all that. That's looking great too. So big shout outs to him. Go follow Fuzzy Paradox if you haven't. Doing good job, good work, right? Good work. So let's kind of jump into the results now. First off, we have Hungary, right? The V-Prem for Hungary. You can see this is a top 4 distribution, and if basically that means the most amount of a certain deck or clan will be 4, and quite a lot of prisms. But because Hungary is just kind of top 4, let's just jump into the kind of the what topped, right? So the team breakdown and what came first. So first off, we have Team Shiny Cardboard Addiction. They brought Prism, Narukami, and Dimension Please. And we'll be looking at the more interesting ones, because, I mean, right now you would have seen a lot of the Prisms. You've seen a lot of the Gurgits, right? They're well known. The Night Rose, yeah, we've seen them for a while. We're going to take a look at the interesting lists that we have after basically this section. Then the second place was No Horny Bonk Squad. They took a very meta lineup with Gurgit, Night Rose, and Prism. Then third place was Team Royal Straight Flush with Gurgit, Yasuie, so that one's an interesting one too. And then a Astral Port list as well. And then in fourth place we have Brexit Copium, who took Prism, Luard, and Night Rose. So that Luard's kind of cool. Like, we haven't seen Luard in a while. It's basically been raging ever since they hit it in English. So now we can probably take a look at how they kind of adapted that Luard, right? So first off, let's kind of look at this Dimension Police list. So this one was actually not even like Dayusha. It was like Zeal with Brad, right? With Brad Black, and then Dimension Zero, right? That's not something you see very often. Normally you just go like, oh yeah, Daikai's is the new stuff. Let's make it happen, right? And then you kind of maybe throw in the Zeal Ryland or something like that. But this guy went full on Zeal. They went Dimension Zero as well, and there's like the Brad Black. So very, very interesting list here. Quite cool, right? Quite cool, and it came in the first place as well. So that's pretty interesting. Then secondary, we got the Narukami as well, from the first place list, right? Yeah, right, there we go. And this one is running some of the interesting text too, able to fit in some of the Phoenix, the Rising Phoenix. So that's pretty cool, right? That's pretty cool. Just extra kind of multi-attacks, while still kind of like having a lot of the deck, right? So, you know, full grade 3 lineup, 4-4-4, right? But then able to stick in 2 PRs, but then still able to like still maintain pretty good ratios too, right? If you look at it, it's 11 grade 1s, right? You know, 10 grade 2s, so very nice. Because it's not running the book. I know if you run the book version of Vanquisher, you have to sacrifice some slots, which is kind of the Phoenix, but if you don't run the book, then you have much more like kind of possibilities of explosion, right? But I guess the book also draws 3 and also like makes 10k power, so it's like an interesting trade-off. It's got like, I think we saw a lot of book Vanquisher, but at the same time this is like a no book Vanquisher, so pretty cool to see the different variations. Then we saw that Yasuie deck, so pretty cool how this deck is formed. Like the previous Yasuie deck like revolved around the Shiroyuki engine slapping onto the Yasuie, and that kind of solved its grade 2 and grade 1 slots. But now you have some interesting cards, right? You have the new grade 2s that they're running, so that's nice. Like you got the PR that make power, and then the grade 2s, and then you kind of slapping on the like 2 extra of these PRs for the grade 1, 2. The Benijishi, so just kind of fill it in, and then you still have a deck, right? And this still did pretty well. 8 fronts too, so pretty crazy. And the last thing I kind of want to look at is just the Luard. We're gonna see, wow, how do we deal with no Karen? And that is again that Curse Lance attack. Only running 1 of that Curse Lance attack though, so that's quite interesting. Also, just sticking with two of the deck ramps. I know a lot of the times we talked about, man, I wish I could stick in 2 deck ramps, like an extra deck ramp, so just 1, because when that goes to damage, you just feel really, really bad. Well, now you have the space, right? You now have the space so you can run 2 deck ramps, because you don't have to worry about the Karens. So that's kind of cool, right? That's kind of cool. And just saying, like, Luad, right? Maybe a lot of people thought it was gone, but it looks like it's still sticking around, which is pretty crazy, right? Then moving on, we have the premium, right? So quite a lot. Like, we have maxed out Pale Moon, maxed out Nightmare Dolls. Quite unsurprising, to say the least, right? Quite unsurprising. Let's just kind of take a look at it. Surprise, like, look at all these Nightmare Dolls. Every single team. First place was actually Brexit Copium. They came 4th place in VPrem, but came 1st in Premium. They brought a Highlander, Order Colony, and Nightmare Doll lineups. That seems pretty meta too. And in 2nd place, we got Team No Horny Bonk Squad again. That was Beatrice, Regalia, and Nightmare Dolls. Then we got Team Shiny Cardboard Addiction. These are very, very familiar names. Not gonna lie, right? Not gonna lie. If we compare them to this, right? Wow, they just basically changed spots, except No Horny Bonk Squad, right? So basically, very, very consistent. Very consistent team. But yeah, back to Team Shiny Cardboard. They brought Order Colony, Dungaree, right? And Nightmare Dolls. So, Dungaree? Man, that's a weird one. Don't see that quite often. And then in 4th place, got the Team Royal Straight Flush with Raging Form, Regalia, and Nightmare Doll 2. Let's kind of take a look at the interesting next. So first off, we have that Highlander list. So in terms of Highlander lists, I don't know what to really say much about it. Again, it's like, you know, you got the 2 Kateers and you got text of every single slot. You have the 2 Aquas. And yeah, that's how it is. It's just, that's just how it is. So, yeah. That's cool. That's cool. But Highlander doing some work, right? Pretty nice. And then we got the we got the Dungarita list, the loathsome Dungarita. If you know that reference, it's pretty that's pretty good. Yeah, we got Dungaree Premium, right? I mean, it's pretty cool. I think a lot of people have been trying to make Dungaree work because, like, you're wow, look at this guy. He's 17k base, yeah, and then you can combo with Stunburst. Yo, that's pretty slick, right? So, and there's much more cards in Premium that can bind you things. So in a way that just kind of works itself out. So that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. But yeah, pretty cool to see like another variant of Narukami Top. We've been seeing the Vanquishers, we saw the Eradicators. There's still the Dungaree variant that's still doing some interesting work, right? So that's really cool. That's really cool. And last thing we kind of want to look at is just the Raging Form list. This is just, a lot of this is just old stuff, but then, I mean new stuff, but then with like some of the old like nice Raging Form text. You got like the Slay Hex Dragon, and then you got the one, the Dark Blessed Angel that basically replaced itself. So overall, some of the really nice cool text. You got the Superior Mana, right? The Superior Mana. And then, you know, they're all they all fit into that nice gray 2 slot where it doesn't really impact your guard values. So that's just really, really cool. Of course, there are some grade 1s that run, but, you know, if you just want to be aggressive, just kind of go for it. And again, you got the Heal Guardians kind of live you through the early game. So, yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. But pretty cool. Pretty cool. And then lastly, we had Hungary Standard. Let's just kind of quickly jump over to this. So we've got Team Lucky in 1st place. They brought Gravidia World. Well, they brought Gravidia. I don't know if it's Gravidia World. They brought Gravidia, Seraph, and Barrow Magnus. And then second, we got Team Ventura, Cucino Gorillas. They brought Maha Nirvana, Gravidia, and Magnolia. Then in 3rd place, we have Team Dresden. They bought Seraph Snow, Maha Nirvana, and Kyrie. So that's like kind of the first Kyrie list we've seen in English. And then 4th place, we've got Team Kanzengard, who brought Gravidia World, and Eugene, and Seraph Snow. So Seraph Snow, very, very popular. Surprisingly, Magnolia was not as popular as well. We also see a lot of Gravidia tech as well in a lot of these teams. So that's pretty brand gate heavy, to be honest. There are 2 Nirvanas, which is interesting, but the one we want to look at is the Eugene. So this is an interesting Eugene. They call it Control Maiden. Now, the interesting part here is it's running the Elba, which is just the Blaze Maiden Elba. It requires you to just kind of rest 3 Regards with Blaze Maiden in their different card names, but we can see there's quite a few. We've got Tanya here, right? And then we got the ride line, which is, but it's not really a ride line in this list. It's Reno, and you also have the crit triggers also. So you got a few of them. You just have to make 3 in the back row, and then your front row can kind of just have a pseudo persona ride. But at least with Eugene, that means it can hit like some better numbers, which is pretty cool. And you can kind of like we can't really rest these, but yeah, it's okay. I think it's interesting. It's an interesting take on Eugene, and clearly it got in top 4th team. So it's doing something right, or someone else had a very heavy load. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Anyway, let's kind of take a look at Newark as well. So first off, we've got Premium here. This one is pretty cool, right? Top 8 breakdown is quite insane. There's quite a lot of decks here. 4 Pale Moon, so half the player base in top 8 was running that, so that's cool. But yeah, that's nice. Let's kind of look at the breakdown for top 4. So we have Team Go Next, who came first with Aquaforce, Musketeers, and Nightmare Dolls. So, there's one interesting deck right there, and that is the middle one, right? Then in second place of Alchemy, who brought Dimension Police, Narukami, and Rising Greedon, right? Rising Greedon. And then third place we get Phantom Star, who took Beatrice, or Grand Blue, Vanquisher, and Fortuna. That's a strange one too. And in the fourth place, we've got Tomatoes, right? Who bought Nightmare Doll, Raging Form again, and then Order Colony. So pretty crazy. Let's look at 2 of these lists. 2 of these lists I really want to see. That is, well, 3. I think 3 actually. 3 of these lists I want to see. First one is the Fortuna list here, which is kind of, it's just running Fortuna, and then Yggdrasil is good, a bunch of good stuff. I'm guessing like what you can do is like you just soul charge, like look at a lot of your cards in your deck, you soul charge a lot, and then you can kind of just know when cards are coming, when triggers are coming, and cool, if you know when the over trigger is coming, just easy timed, right? And then refresh your deck with the Dreaming Dragon when you start heading to deck out. But just with the Fortuna skill, you can kind of do a lot of checking on your first ride up, I guess. So that's pretty cool. Also, you get force markers when you get a trigger in the damage zone. So pretty tops, right? Then the other list that we have here is just a Rising Greedon list. So this one is just your Rising Nova. You copy like Greedon and something else, and you kind of go bam, bam, bam. Restand multiple times of Greedon's skill while still calling a bunch of stuff out, so you can get that multi-attack. And then, hopefully your opponent gets pushed up to a lot of damage because it's a lot of attacks, and then you just kind of close it out with just the normal just strike a multi-attack there and just hope for the best, right? So pretty interesting. Good to see it doing some work, right? Good that it's not the GB8 build, the super annoying one. And then lastly, we have just the Musketeer list that came first. Now, I'm just going to throw out a disclaimer that it didn't do that good on a personal note, but it won all the games it needed to win. So basically, if it came down to a 1-1 and they needed to win, this actually did win those games. But other than that, I think the personal score was not great. But if you do want like some ideas kind of work with Neonectar right now, which I know is a pretty terrible clan right now in Premium, here's a start. Right, here's a start, and kind of work through this, maybe improve it, and go, okay, this is working, this isn't working, I don't like this part, and go from there, right? At least, baby steps, right? Baby steps. So, still, good job, right? You won, like, they won the important matches, that's how you come first. Teamwork, right? Teamwork. And then, lastly, I think we got not lastly, we got Standard, right? We got Standard, not lastly already. So this is a top 8 for Standard, so quite a big breakdown. Again, quite mixed. The 50-50s are like the Magnolian Prison, so basically half of Standard top 8 brought like Magnolian Prison. Prison just seeing like very, very popular, still very, very popular, so that's pretty cool. And let's just kind of look at who won. So the Senate won. It's kind of weird to say, but they brought Kyrie, Gravidia, and Magnolia. Right then in second place, they got Blackthorn with Flagberg, Barrow Magnus, and Seraph Snow. And then Mid Plus was third place, which brought Seraph, Kyrie, and Magnolia. And then in fourth place we have Teriyaki, who brought Magnolia, Barrow Magnus, and Seraph Snow. So that's quite cool. Very interesting to just, again, it's just like Seraph just seems very, 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 very popular. But also Rudy. But I think the interesting one is just the Flagberg, right? Flagberg. A lot of people just been hyping Flagberg. They've been standing Flagberg, saying, you got to give it a try, right? It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I guess the Magnolia representation is quite good here. So 3 of them making in the top 4. So that's great, right? That's great. And then lastly, we have the V-Prem, right? We've got the Newark V-Prem. So I don't think that Fuzzy's made a little nice graph for it yet, or the breakdown of what came in top 4, because probably still waiting on info. But we can already see here huge Prism representation. 6 out of the 8 was playing Prism. 5 Dark Irregulars actually, so that's pretty crazy. And then 4 Gold Paladin. Gold Paladin, like, very, very popular, and then it kind of drops off from there, right? But we do have like we do have one list at least. So this is Frat, and they came first. They came first at Newark. These are just basically the lists, right? And big love to my teammates and brothers Anthony and Pierre-Luc, the BRO2021 NA champion. So yeah, that's congratulations again. Very, very consistent. And we'll talk more about this on VG Top Decks as well. It's going to post apparently more things. But yeah, just for now, we're going to just take a look at these lists. This is the start. I may have to minimize it. So first, like, this is just the starter though, but only running 3 Shahara is quite interesting. But I'm guessing, like, in terms of what you write, you got 3 Shahara, 3 Amons. That kind of rounds out 6. And then you have like the Hope on Up is here. Then you got the maxed out number of Terror as well here. So very, very important card. But yeah, just the extra package that can kind of fit this Hope on Dump. That's pretty cool. And then it looks like he prioritized a lot of the new kind of soul charging cards. So the Foos, right? The Foos. But then you're still running what, Yellow Bolt, basically 3 of everything else. Feels like you couldn't really super decide on the exact ratios, or you just want to put them all in, right? That's just it. That's just it. Yeah, pretty good list. Good old Dark Irregulars doing work. And then they also brought a Gurgit. Again, I think this doesn't really need to be explained. Gurgit is just really, really, really good at the moment. It's just maxed out max slash. That's like insane. 4 max slash. Ready to just pop off. Ready to just pop off. And lastly, we got that Prism list that everyone is still playing. Prism Orange list, actually. Actually, is this this looks kind of similar. All right, this looks kind of similar to Sons, but not running. I think, is it the Betty? Right, the Betty, but yeah, just, you know, still running the Pearl Sisters, the Orange to kind of feels good, man. Right, feels good, man. And then yeah, the rest is just only three Aqua. Okay, yeah, pretty cool. All right, nice. And then we do have some Puerto Rico results. It's not full. I know Jose messaged me some of the lists as well, and I think he also told Derek. We can kind of look at the top 4 for Premium right now. So the first place was Grand Blue, Nova Grapplers, and Gold Paladin, and then second was Narukami, Grand Blue, and Shadow Paladin, and the 4th place got Gear Chronicle, Pale Moon, and Gold Paladin. So these 2 are pretty cool. I really want to see those. And then in BSF Puerto Rico Standard, we had Kyrie, Magnolia, Gravidia coming first, and then second place was Bastion, Prison, and Magnolia. And then lastly, for the V-Prem, they were able to confirm the first place was Genesis, Link Joker, and Aquaforce. And then second place was Royal Paladin, Narukami, and Pale Moon. So pretty cool. And then there was also in top 4 was Genesis, Shadow, and Gold. So I guess the Link Joker is pretty interesting. It's probably just going to be Messiah, right? But we can take a look at the interesting list. So first we got that Pale Moon list. Only running one of the reverse. So that's fine. That's not bad, right? That's not bad. It's good enough. You don't need that many, right? You don't need that many. But otherwise, the rest of the Silver Form is pretty standard. Actually, just running the Venus as well, right? Running Venus, and yeah, just able to pop. Actually, running a lot of crits too, like 4 crits, 4 fronts, so full on rainbow. Normally, I think with Silver Form, you still want to go 8 fronts, but I think just you want to keep them honest, right? You want to keep them honest, so yeah. All right, I can understand that. And the other list I kind of want to see was just the Gear Chronicle one. So this was Gear Chronicle Premium. It looks like it's running the old kind of Time Leap engine with some of the new cards. So that's pretty cool to see. You're able to pop off the Erwatars as well and just able to get some extra cards. And even the two TikTok workers too. So pretty interesting. But yeah, this is basically just like a modern day updated kind of Time Leap deck. It's looking like with the Melon combo, the history makers. But yeah. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. So that is kind of it for now. That is kind of all the lists we kind of have. Actually, I did want to take a look at the Link Joker one, right? So we can kind of jump over this. So this was the V-Link Joker. Just a straight up Harmonics Messiah. Like just a straight up Messiah list. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, that is it. Let me know what you guys think of the list below. Let me know what you guys think of the EU versus NA lists, right? Why are EU lists always the same? But I guess it's because it's always the same teams, right? It's always the same teams. That's why all the decks are the same. Then it was like in NA, I think there's just like huge variety, a lot of variety. So that's pretty interesting. And again, Puerto Rico, if you've got more, message Derek, message me, anyone. We'll take a look at them. And again, if you want to send me anything as well, if you have more stories, I love reading stories. Hashtag VG Top Decks. We'll read them on Thursday. All right. Thanks for coming, guys. See you guys later. Bye.